Opening Declaration, West Side Grace Ministries, Bishop Michael Anthony McDaniel, CSI, Critical Scripture Investigator, FBI, Forensic Bible Investigator, Senior Investigator, West Side Grace Ministries, rightly dividing the word of truth through investigative scripture analysis, definition of pericope, CSI standard. A pericope is a self-contained unit of scripture that contains a complete theological, doctrinal, prophetic, or narrative movement. In CSI investigative analysis, identifying the pericope establishes proper biblical scene boundaries to preserve contextual integrity. CSI Biblical Scene Identification Biblical Date, approximately AD 6062, Physical Location, Roman Custody, House Arrest, Rome, Human Author, the Apostle Paul. Primary Audience, the Church at Philippi. Literary Genre, Pauline Epistle, Prison Letter, Biblical Timeline, Placement, Post-Missionary Journeys, Church Age. Main Focus, the forensic tension between the believer's desire for eternal presence with Christ and the earthly mandate for ministerial fruitfulness. CSI Step 1, the interpretive journey, grasping the text. And 1, their town, original context. Paul is writing under the constant watch of Roman guards. In the first century, gain, kurdos, and labor, ergon, were part of a specific economic and legal vocabulary. To the Philippians, a Roman colony, the idea of living for the state was common. Paul replaces the state with Christ. 2, the river, measuring the width. The distance between our modern comfort and Paul's prison cell is vast. We must cross the cultural divide of life valuation. Today, life is often preserved at all costs. In Paul's investigative world, life is only valuable as a tool for the mission. 3, the crossing, grasping theological principles. Indicative, the fact, to live is Christ. Paul's forensic identity is legally and spiritually bound to Christ. Imperative, the command, the necessity of abiding for others dictates that the investigator's personal desire must yield to the mission's requirements. CSI Step 2, the biblical scene investigation, forensic analysis. In this stage, we examine the spiritual evidence left at the scene, the internal conflict. Paul is in a strait, a narrow passage. Forensically, this shows that he is not suicidal or depressed. He is simply experiencing the magnetic pull of two different homes. The benefit analysis. Paul conducts a cost-benefit analysis of his own existence. He determines that while death is a personal benefit, life is a corporate necessity. CSI Step 3, MSM, Message, Significance, and Meaning. Message, Paul identifies a spiritual stalemate. Living results in fruit, while dying results in gain. Significance, this reveals the forensic profile of a mature believer, one who has lost the fear of death because death has been reclassified as a profit-bearing event, meaning the primary function of the flesh, earthly life, is not self-satisfaction, but the production of fruit for the benefit of the church. CSI Step 4, Apologetic Defense. The reality of heaven, Paul's calm deliberation between living and dying, is a powerful apologetic. A person does not treat death as gain unless they have an objective certainty of what follows. This is proof of the hope that anchors the Christian faith. The altruism argument. Critics claim religion is selfish. Paul's conclusion that he will stay in chains for the sake of others is the ultimate forensic evidence of the transformative power of the gospel to produce radical selflessness. CSI Step 5, Forensic Summary and Verdict. The diagnostic verdict. Paul concludes that his abiding in the flesh is a legal and spiritual necessity for the Philippians' progress. The investigative conclusion. Life is the assignment, death is the reward. Until the heavenly court officially closes the case and issues the summons, the investigator remains on the scene to rightly divide the word of truth for the benefit of the people. Closing declaration, Westside Grace Ministries, Bishop Michael Anthony McDaniel, CSI, Critical Scripture Investigator, FBI, Forensic Bible Investigator, Senior Investigator, Westside Grace Ministries, rightly dividing the word of truth through investigative scripture analysis. Like, share, and follow this ministry. Copyright statement. Copyright C 2026, Westside Grace Ministries. All rights reserved. Scripture quotations are taken from the King James Version, KJV.